How do you get your employees engaged from day one? I'm Greg with Retention and Rewards Partners. And I had a conversation with a connection of mine that I made through another connection using networking. And he showed me this solution he is developing for a company that he started that gets new hire employees engaged with their job, with the company, with other people in the organization on day one. And it's called Amira.io. And Ben Comstock is one of the founders of Amira. We had a great conversation about how Amira.io is getting its clients to get their new hires engaged from day one, getting them onboarded and connected with the rest of the organization so that they start to build relationships right away. And he's got some big clients who are using this very successfully. And I love this solution because often I talk to workplaces about the importance of connection, about how you need to help employees develop relationships. And companies will say, well, how do you do that? Well, Amir.io solves that problem in a lot of ways because it creates the environment for people to connect. Now, this isn't just another Slack channel or Teams group or Teams channel like some people have tried. This is a full-blown solution that takes your employees from day one, gets them onboarded, reduces time in the onboarding process, and he'll talk a little bit about how that works, and also just connects people so they can start meeting people who have common interests. So great conversation with Ben. Hope you enjoy this and hope that you check out Amira.io because I think that for a lot of organizations out there, this is the solution to onboarding and connecting your employees to the organization. Yeah, so just kind of want to start off talking a little bit about how you got started on this. Like, what made you want to build Amira, and what were you really trying to achieve with creating this solution?
Yeah, great question. So to answer the question of why we created Amira, let's start with what's the kind of the current situation.
Yeah.
Then I'd like to talk about the future, and then it'll explain why we wanted to create a solution that bridges those two things. So I think that we're living in a paradox right now. We've never had more ways to connect with people, yet workers have never felt more lonely. Loneliness is now a workplace epidemic. 52% of workers report feeling lonely. And that it's a costly problem, right? Lonely workers are twice as likely to quit. Last year alone, it's estimated that loneliness was the cause of $150 billion of lost productivity. So businesses should care about this. What they've done typically is they've contracted engagement solutions, but engagement really hasn't budged in over a decade. So despite companies spending around $2,400 per employee, we're not seeing really great results. Only 23% of employees say that engagement actually is done well at their organization. So that's for a variety of reasons. And HR spends 73% of their time on manual tasks. So we know that HR is bogged down, engagement tools are not working. So that's the state that we're in today. And so I think the next thing to think about is, well, where do we want to be in the future, and what is that going to look like, especially with AI really taking over a lot of the workplace tasks. So I think that the companies in the future are going to be the ones, the companies who win at least, are going to be the ones who really try and humanize work, not just mechanize it.
Yeah.
And so culture, I think, is going to be the new currency. I think it's really easy to pay and perks are easy to copy. Culture is not. And so I think that we're going to see the employees in the future really choosing to work for employers who help them feel connected, help them feel like they're growing, really buy into the mission of the organization, which I think creating a great place to work is part of that mission, or needs to be. And so knowing where we are today, things just are not working, to where is the future going? Where do businesses need to be? We decided to create Amira. And Amira is a tool that's injecting moments of human connection to every stage of the employee life cycle. It's removing tool redundancy, so making things less complicated for both management and employees alike, to bring all that employee experience into just one tool. And then it's automating manual tasks for HR. As we said, they are just bogged down with too many things to do. But we cannot allow something so important like employee experience to just be an afterthought, because I think it will be the main thought in or one of the top thoughts for the future employee.
Yeah.
So that's why we the kind of current, future, and why we decided to do what we're doing.
And you laid that out so well, like the paradox and the issue. And, obviously you've spent a lot of time thinking about this and how to solve for this. And I love how you've come up with this really tangible solution for something that can kind of be a gray area for a lot of companies. We all know about engagement surveys and putting those out there. And so I think a lot of companies, they go, well, we just need a new engagement survey, or we need a different engagement survey. Or they're like, that's the only tool that people think exists out there to deal with this. And so that's why I was really interested in Amira when I heard about it, and got connected with you through a mutual acquaintance, mutual friend, the person that we all know. And really, I was like, this is because when I talk about it, people will be like, okay, what do we do? Right. And you have this really tangible solution that says, let's create these moments of connection within the organization, because I think that's what a lot of companies are wondering, like, okay, great. I buy the business case. I see what you're saying. I understand we haven't moved the needle. Now what do I do? And so that's what I kind of really love about your solution and how you're approaching this. How did you get into like employee engagement? Like, how was that something that you really got interested in? Like, what's the background there?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the background is a lot about just who I am as a person. I'm a connector. I love to connect with people and help people connect. So I was the guy in the office who would make the connections for colleagues. Somebody would be selling their iPhone, and I would happen to find out about it, and I'd be able to tell John on the fifth floor, hey, actually Sally's selling her iPhone, right? So it was those kinds of serendipitous connections that I was able to make, but just because of the personality that I have. Then it made me think, wow, this is part of the culture, is trying to create this type of community, and what tools can help us do that. And at the time, the only things I could really find were Slack and Teams and engagement solutions out there. But engagement tools track sentiment. They don't create belonging.
Yeah, it's a great line. Yeah. And again, that's the heart of the problem, right? I mean, all that money you said that we spend per employee, that 2,400, I think is what you had quoted there, is all just spent on surveys, right? Mostly. I mean, maybe you have action planning or something after that, but mostly it's surveys, right? And so we just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and keep expecting different results. So again, I think that's what's interesting and exciting about what you're working on. So tell us a little bit about Amira. Sorry, Amira. Okay. I think of a mirror, right? I have to think of it as a mirror to reflect back. So Amira, tell us about a little bit about it. Like,
so we started. Sure. So we launched in 2023. This was a project that my co-founder, who's actually my cousin, he and I built together, along with just the help from just an absolutely wonderful group of consultants that have helped us create this thing into a business. And it's a tool that we created it, launched in 2023, signed a few really marquee clients: Harvard, SAP, Yale, Thermo Bond. So really got off out of the gate pretty well, because I think that this concept of giving an actual tangible solution, like you said, to a real problem that's happening today, to avoid more problem tomorrow, I think has really resonated. So it's a solution that we created. We've actually created it completely remotely. We're a remote first company. So we kind of eat our own dog food on this one. We do use it internally for us as well to kind of stay connected and share information and things like that. Obviously, we're a really small team, so it definitely works for a company of a little bit more than what we are. But it's a solution that we created a little while ago and are having some early success with it.
Okay. And so tell us what it does. Like
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
the
Well,
what's the solution here?
absolutely. Yeah. So our tool is really built on three important pillars of the employee experience: the onboarding experience, the community experience, and then the engagement experience. And so studies show if you do those three things very well, employees are happier, they work harder, they stay longer. That's great for
Hmm.
both the business and the people that work in them, right?
Hmm.
And so our tool is a solution that helps onboard talent more effectively. It goes beyond the HRIS,
Hmm.
kind of fill out your I-9 forms
Right.
and give like here's a field for bio.
Hmm.
It's a lot more hands-on, and it kind of walks employees through that employee journey that's so important that
Hmm.
they have both in the onboarding, the
Hmm.
connection piece, and then also the engagement side of it
Right.
throughout the employee life cycle. So if you'd like, without further ado, I'd be happy to
Yeah.
show you.
Yeah, let's
Yep.
take a look at it.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
All
Yeah, and I
right.
love this idea of, you're capturing people right at the onboarding stage because people are probably never going to be as excited about where they're going to work as the first day or when they're coming on,
Absolutely.
right? I mean, it's a new job, it's something new, they're excited about it, and really sort of taking hold of that excitement and then continuing that on through the employee experience, I think is key.
Absolutely. Could I get sharing rights if you don't mind?
Yeah, yeah. Let me
Thanks.
see here.
And while we're doing that, absolutely. And to piggyback off that thought there, first impressions matter in
Yep.
organizations. And I think when we look in the future, if you're not making now and in the future, if you're not making a great first impression, uh, employees are going to leave. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
30% of employees who leave a company do so within the first 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're
Yep.
not making that big impact from day
Yep.
one, you're going to have a real hard time uh, retaining those employees, which
Yep.
obviously hits your bottom line pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, so imagine you're a first time employee. Uh, you've been given access to your company branded version of the tool. You can be even given access to this for pre-onboarding, so even before
Mm-hmm.
your day one. So you come in here. This is all mobile friendly as well, so you can just do all of this on your phone. You get introduced through a nice greeting there. Make sure your information is correct. This can be interfaced from your HRIS system. And they're going to go through some steps to just get to know you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We're automating things like birthdays and work anniversaries, so your managers don't always have to be responsible for
Mm-hmm.
remembering when that moment for recognition needs
Mm-hmm.
to come. Can select from a plethora of different interests. These are all customized.
Mm-hmm.
List of skills is the same. So, hey, I'm skilled in JavaScript, and I also know
Mm-hmm.
some cybersecurity. So, if you need my help, I'd be happy
Mm-hmm.
to teach you those things. What languages are you proficient in? Great for international organizations
Mm-hmm.
and multicultural ones as well. I what And then the tool is going to start curating content based on what it knows about you.
Mm-hmm.
So it already knows that you love dogs, for example. Well, hey, did you know there's a pet lovers club already in the company? And
Mm-hmm.
so instead of having to ask somebody to go to Slack, go to Teams, go find and search for these channels, it's already connecting you in meaningful ways. And that's the idea.
Mm-hmm.
You can also answer up to or create up to 3 fun fact questions that your company's created for you. So I'm going to skip the tour and just give that to you myself. So now we've landed on the uh, on your personalized home screen.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where kind of it all comes together. This is where you get to see those who share your interests, communities you've joined, any upcoming events, celebrations, and then this middle piece here is where you can see all of what's going on in your employee experience. So there was
Mm-hmm.
a business lunch, network lunch that happened. Here's some photos from that in case you missed it. There's a survey about the remote work policy that the company's asking me, events that are being planned. There's some new channels, which is simply kind of like internal Slack that we have within the organization. So you can bring all that non-core business out of Slack, out of Teams, out of email, put it into a dedicated place for your employee experience to thrive without having to clutter those business communication channels. And
Mm-hmm.
all of this is populated here by these modules. We talked about the onboarding experience. So this is that onboarding journey. So again, you're a new employee. What do you need to do? a lot that can always be kind of complicated to explain. A lot of people get bombarded with a ton of emails or just a
Yeah.
PowerPoint slide. What if you had something more full featured, something that had some steps to complete, and all you had to do is just click through. Let's meet your team. Here's your manager, your teammates,
Hmm.
and things you share in common with them. Uh, being able to meet your buddy. This is all the buddy assignments, all automated as well. First day agendas. So if your organization needs to explain what needs to or can be expected on that first day. And then there's some checklists, maybe. Well, hey, I need you to complete your contact info in Workday. I need you to contact your buddy.
Hmm.
Here's some information about that, et cetera. And we're tracking all this information so that your manager can know exactly where you are in your onboarding experience at all times. So they don't have to always ask the hiring manager or the onboarding
Hmm.
manager, hey, where's Greg at in his process?
Hmm.
We
Hmm.
also have learning paths. So this is a great opportunity for uh, that learning and development experience to all be done within the same platform. So I hope what you can see now, since we've talked about a lot of things, how we can consolidate all that employee
Hmm.
experience into one tool. You
Right.
don't need a survey module. You don't need a learning and development solution. You don't need checklists. You don't need agendas.
Hmm.
You don't need extra steps for assigning buddies. All of this is done seamlessly through
Hmm.
Amira.
Right.
So
And
go
I was
ahead.
just
Yeah.
going to say one thing, and because you mentioned this earlier, HR is slammed, so are managers, right? And
Yeah.
so I can always remember when I would get a new person on my team, and it was kind of like, oh, where's the checklist? Like, where's the list of things they're supposed to do? What do we want them to do? And you'd run around and try to find the last person you hired and like put that together. And so this just, as I see this, it looks so much easier from the standpoint of the team that's already there saying, let's just go. We have this built in. It's in Amira. We don't have to recreate the checklist, and it actually makes their life a lot easier, right? HR and the managers, so that they don't have to keep doing this every time they hire somebody.
Exactly. And that's the idea is once those new hires are signed in their HRIS system, that information automatically filters down into Amira. We know what team you're in. So in this example, let's say that you are in the pre-sales team. Well, we're going to show you the pre-sales team checklist
Hmm.
or the pre-sales team learning path. So, and that's
Hmm.
done automatically.
Hmm.
And so that what we've found is this is really helping managers not have to do the mundane manual onboarding
Hmm.
experience.
Yep.
This
Yeah.
is all done for them. It's testing those new hires. You can add your own customized assessments at the end of each section to make sure that
Hmm.
those hires retain the information that you need them to
Hmm.
retain,
Yep.
so that once it says 100% completed, you know that those employees, those new hires are ready to go.
Yeah.
So that's the welcome experience there.
Hmm.
We talked about those three pillars: welcome,
Hmm.
community, and engagement. The community side of things is what we talked about a little bit there, which is things like being able to find, being able to find people who can help you through based on
Hmm.
their interests, skills, languages, even what day of the office are they will they be there. So hey, I am working hybrid, but I want to
Mm.
go there on a day on Wednesday. Well, who's going to be there? Well, hey, all these people are going to be there. How nice to know,
Oh
right?
yeah, that's awesome.
Uh, some other community building features that we have are community groups. So
Hmm.
again, taking this idea of taking that stuff out of Slack, out of email, out of your teams, putting it into a dedicated place for the activities club to have that place, to have those conversations, see photos
Hmm.
from previous events. It's a lot more engaging than just a whole thread of
Hmm.
conversation. But
Yeah.
we also have our own built-in kind of comment threads, what we call channels. So
Mm.
the opportunity to create those threads again here and not have to clutter your project group chats in
Mm.
Slack, just having a place for all that employee experience to live in one easy to find location.
Right.
We also have kind of some other features, buy and sell, for example. It's a
Mm.
nice way to help your employees save and earn
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
So these are those community features. We also have some engagement features, announcements, giving people the opportunity to, giving the organization the opportunity to communicate with those employees about awards they've won or
Hmm.
retirement, important announcements there. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we have our own built-in survey feature.
Hmm.
So for organizations that are not that want to reduce the amount of tools that they need,
Hmm.
we've really found that having everything here in one place has really been a great solution for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. So talked a little bit about, you do this during onboarding. So new hires kind of come in here, they see this site, this kind of becomes their central hub, as you call it, the hub of where they go to get information. Do you find that when your clients start using this, how do you get the people who are already there? Like they're not going to go through onboarding. They're not going to
Right.
kind of come in through the tool. What do you do to kind of get them to start getting in the habit of using this for their own experience?
Great question. So how we do that is, first of all, through features such as when you, it does take some change management, but it's moving things into this tool. So
Mhm,
instead of us creating Outlook calendar events, you're going to start creating events through Amira. What that's going to
mhm,
do is going to send those invitations to all of your employees
mhm,
about that financial planning tips and tricks, for example.
mhm,
And then they're going to click. They're going to click there. It sends them here, and so they're already going to start integrating into the system here. When you
mhm,
start adding all of your resources into here and say, hey, we can get rid of that SharePoint that's nobody barely uses anyway.
mhm,
This is where we can find that information. Hey, did you need to know about the employee discount? Well, here it is. Go find it
mhm,
in. And so what we found is it's that organization, excuse me, existing employees really actually like
mhm,
to use this tool because their pre-existing tools are typically very outdated. They're very
mhm,
antiquated. Information is not up to date. And so what we found is essentially just kind of moving information into this tool has created
mhm.
that automated way to get
Right.
new users on here quickly.
Yeah, and I'm sure lots of teams look at that as an opportunity to say, let's, as we're before we're moving things in, let's get stuff updated. Let's, kind of clean that stuff up. It's a good opportunity to get
Absolutely.
things, that you don't need anymore and kind of, archive those.
Absolutely.
You show that you've got the app there. Do you find a lot of people use the mobile app, or are they mostly desktop, or is it sort of some split between that, or both? Do people use
It
both?
it's actually mainly desktop.
Okay.
The clients that we have are typically desk working or
Hmm.
in businesses.
Hmm.
So they're on their computers. The
Okay.
idea behind this tool is not to be a Facebook. We're not trying to be Instagram. We're
Hmm.
not wanting you to spend a ton of time on this tool. This is an opportunity for you to find what you need, connect with
Hmm.
your colleagues, kind of
Hmm.
get in, get out, which is actually reduce the amount of time that it takes to do those things today. Because a lot of
Hmm.
people have to, to find those find somebody who knows that skill. Well, you might have to get on Slack and start asking a ton of people
Hmm.
instead of just coming here and finding that person who has that JavaScript knowledge
Hmm.
that you were looking for to begin with.
Hmm.
So yeah, so it's um I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No, I think that answers it really well, because I think what you said is, it's a way to organize it and get information to people, but people aren't going to spend all day in this, right? They're going to spend the day doing their job, which, as you pointed out, they're doing their job. They're maybe in Slack or Teams or whatever the organization uses to trade work related information. And then when it comes to, okay, but there's another part of work that's not the work, right? It's the
right.
community and the connection of the workplace that you're in. And this is sort of the main way to connect them within that world. So they go, okay, I want to get to know people. I'm at work anyway. This is where I go to do that, right? So you're separating those two things, like you said, so you don't have the Slack channels and the Teams channels that are getting lost in the work stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, imagine if you would come to work and every time that you seen that Slack notification or that Teams notification, that you knew this was very high, this was work related. It's
Hmm.
not somebody coming here to try and post their iPhone for sale,
Right.
or
Yeah.
it's not somebody asking a question about, hey, does anybody know a JavaScript developer? It's
Hmm.
not somebody who's trying to just post some photos
Hmm.
from that networking event that we had
Yeah.
yesterday,
Right.
right? If we can reduce the amount of noise
Hmm.
in our business communication channels, it makes those channels more effective at running your business while using Amira to
Hmm.
run your employee experience.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
email, Slack Teams for
Hmm.
business, Amira for everything else.
Yeah. So you mentioned some of your clients before, but kind of what are you seeing as the outcomes or results or the feedback that you're getting from them in
Yeah.
terms of the difference that this is making to the employee experience?
Yeah, so it's having a pretty impactful business result. So we're able when we're able to reduce the amount of tools
Hmm.
that companies use by a factor of five. So the
Okay.
opportunity, excuse me, or by a number of five. So we go in, we're able to remove the survey feature. We're able to remove the old, SharePoint or intranet,
Hmm.
remove those directories, things like that. So we're able to reduce the technology stack, which saves money
Hmm.
and saves headache. Uh,
Hmm.
the second thing is we've been able to save HR up to 10 hours per week, not
Right.
having to do
Okay.
such manual tasks, which is huge.
Yep.
Uh, and then the third thing is just increasing job satisfaction.
Hmm.
So companies that use our tool report having higher job satisfaction thanks to having everything in one tool and more clean, organized, modern
Right.
way than what they used to have. So
Yeah.
increases in all three of those have really had a big impact on our clients.
Yeah. So again, right out of the gate, you're coming in, the expenses for the tech stack are going down, the workload for HRs, you're freeing up those hours to spend on something else, right?
Yeah.
They're not focused on these onboarding tasks, and then you're getting the higher employee satisfaction. So great upside to, putting this solution in to take care of this engagement issue.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And one of the things I did want to mention is kind of where the artificial intelligence kind of comes in on some
Mhm.
of this. So
Okay.
you'll I'm sure you've been in a part of those experiences where you join a group, a digital community,
Hmm.
let's say like the activities club, and uh, the group after a little while kind of just dies out.
Yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
then it must be the responsibility of the owners or the creators of the group to
Hmm.
keep it going. Well, with AI, we're able to learn what it is that's been talked about, what's kind of the interests of these
Mm.
people, since we have all that information in this platform, and then be able to start suggesting things, suggesting questions to
Mm.
keep the conversation, interesting questions to keep the conversations going, interesting surveys to get people to kind of participate in relevant, meaningful ways,
Okay.
and then even suggesting to the owners, hey, here are some ideas for events that the
Right.
activity club might be interested in based on the things that we've been talking about recently. So those are,
So
so, go ahead.
so like this example, looking at the activities club. So Emma
Yep.
and Kaylee are running it. Maybe Emma and Kaylee have been on a big project, so they haven't spent a lot of time in this, but the sort of artificial intelligence is going to maybe suggest to them via notification or email, hey, looks like we haven't posted anything here for a while. Here's some things that people might want to do. Do you want to create this poll or create this topic or put something out there for everybody so that we keep people engaged? Is that kind of
Exactly.
what that looks
That's
like?
exactly it. Exactly. And just one step further in that is it's not, hey, Emma and Kaylee, go do this.
Mhm.
It's, do you want me to Amira,
Oh, okay.
is
Great.
Amira, would you like me to do it?
Yeah.
And so they just have to say yes or no. And then that then populates, whether it's an event, a question, a survey,
Yeah.
those kinds of things. I mean, we have photo contests as well. So, hey, what was the best photo you've taken this year from one of the
Mm.
activities club events? And then that's all automated for you as well. So, a lot of these engagement features that are saving a lot of people time, uh, so that you can make sure that your employee experience doesn't fall by the wayside just because people are have other
Yeah.
things that they can focus on.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's such a cool feature. It's sort of like your community uh AI agent, right? Your community
Exactly.
manager agent in AI. And awesome. That's very cool. And a
Absolutely.
good, I think a really practical use of that too, right? I mean, so everything, you can't talk about anything today without it having some form of AI in it. But that's a very, I think, practical use case that makes it easier for the people who are, owning this or in charge of this. So very cool.
Absolutely.
I don't think we talked about that last time we looked at this. So
No,
that's cool. So cool. So I mean, as we kind of, wrap up on this, as you think about new organizations that might be interested in Amira, like what is it you hear? Like, what are the words organizations say that would let somebody know, like, hey, Amir is the solution for them? Like, what's the issue or the things they say to you? Like, here's what we're trying to solve. Like, what's your ideal
yep.
customers say?
Yeah, so employee retention is a big one. So organizations that are struggling to retain top talent,
Mm-hmm.
organizations that have low employee engagement scores, organizations that are that want to reduce the amount of tools they have. All
Hmm.
those are three big ones for
Hmm.
us. We found that organizations that have one of those three needs, or if not all of them,
Hmm. Hmm.
really find a lot of value in this tool. But when I think about it a lot, it really opens up to a lot of opportunities. A lot of companies don't want
Hmm.
to use so many tools. They want to reduce their tech spend.
Hmm.
And so, in hiring somebody to manage community is
Hmm.
another headcount cost.
Hmm.
This is a fraction of that. So organizations, I think, that are also thinking very progressively, and like we talked about, thinking about the future of their business and how are they going to attract and retain talent,
Hmm.
are companies that we find really kind of get some
Yeah.
value out of this tool.
Okay. So if somebody wants to learn more about Amira, about you, like where's the best place for them to get in touch with you? Just
Yeah,
go straight to
absolutely.
amira.io.
Amira.io. Yeah, come check us out. Uh, yeah, feel free to request a demo, and I'd be happy to show it to you.